Hey, it's Sarah Jane from Access Your True Nature. Welcome back. This is day 3 of the 28-day active appreciation of you. I hope you can hear me. I left my earbuds at home, but here I am showing up. Nice to see you. Give me some love, give me some hearts. Tell me who you are, why you're here. Because today I'm going to really share some ways to amplify appreciation and build on what we started yesterday, which was to dissolve the stories. Hi Heike, nice to see you. Hi Rika, come on in. If you haven't already, post some love, tag a friend, tell them that we are live and actively participating as the authority of our own lives. Invite your friends in if you know of somebody that you think this might help. Invite them in. Give me some love, give me some hearts. Hi Christina. Alright, so while we're waiting for Facebook to build this audience of active participants, the ones that have got off the grandstands and are ready to actually play on the field in this big game we call life, just know that today I'm really going to dive in a little bit into appreciating being uncomfortable. All right, and loving everything that arises, because as entrepreneurs we need to get used to being uncomfortable. You're going to feel uncomfortable all the time, right? Every time we get out there, every time we stop hiding, it's going to feel uncomfortable. So tag a fellow love warrior. Tell them that we're here. Let's grow this tribe. Facebook sometimes freezes up. Yep. And acknowledge and appreciate that you're pretty potent too. So how many times do we block up or freeze ourselves and numb ourselves down or disassociate because we don't want to perhaps know or receive what is available to us? And as I said over and over again, hi Kelly, this tribe is really here to support you. Hi Margot. Good. We're all here. We are assets to each other to celebrate our unique gifts and capacities. So the more people that you have eyes on and the more people that can see you, the more abundant you become, right? It's that active appreciation of that you're not alone, that you are supported, and that there are people waiting for what only you have to give. So I said I was going to keep these short, and I will do my utmost, but I never prepare these other than knowing that the feedback that I get from my day, from my own experiences, and from the people that I get to interact and connect with during the day actually give me the affirmation of what is required. And today it really was looking at discomfort and looking at the places where we get to be uncomfortable and then we run away because it doesn't feel good. And that's part of our nervous system, right? It's in our body's wisdom to run away from things that are scary and not safe and run towards pleasure. So I'm inviting you today to just stay in the presence, in the feeling of where you may be finding this uncomfortable, this conversation, something going in your life. And if you didn't already, post what happened for you yesterday when you actually started to realize that you're not your stories. So what happened yesterday? Could you identify a story that came up for you that you realized was running your life? And what happened when you actually just recognized that you were creating a war in your body because you just lacked the awareness that there was actually a story, an identification to? You just did that today. Great, Margot. Yeah, so what are you consciously committed to? All right, I'm going to try not to get distracted, but I love the comments, so keep them coming. Give me some love, give me some hearts, give me some energy. Tell me that you're loving this, that you're here in the present moment, no distractions. And let me know, what happened when you realized that you were just creating this pain and tension in your body and in your life because you just lacked the awareness that there was a story there that you were still holding on to. Or maybe it was a person that you weren't ready to forgive and now you can. Whatever that was. And just see yourself as love without the attachment to that old story. So what did you appreciate about that, and just post it down below, Margot. I'd love to know what you did today in regards to story. And just keep sending me some love, send me some hearts, otherwise I feel like I'm talking to myself. And also I'm actively appreciating that when I do show up like this, it is for me, right? Because through you as my witness, I get to change and expand and amplify appreciation and abundance in my own life. So thank you for being here, and thank you for participating and playing with me in this big game of life. So where are you feeling uncomfortable right now? Post that in the comments and questions. Was it the letting go of the identification to your story? Where is the discomfort showing up in your body right now? And how did it feel? Or how would it feel if you're still in that place of discomfort, to stop creating this chaos inside of you when you truly deep down in your heart know that it's not you, it's the un-you, right? It's not the you that knows, it's the fear. It's the fear. Distractions, okay, that's great. So perhaps the discomfort brought up distraction for you, because that is one of the most common ways that we move away from feeling uncomfortable, is that we distract ourselves with Facebook, with other things that are going on around you. And it's easier to do that than it is to stay in the discomfort, and then you wonder why your body's screaming at you. So if that went away, if you got free, what would have to change? Hi Rahana. Tag a friend, invite your people in. Let's grow this tribe. Give me some love, give me some hearts, keep it going. Facebook like that. You realize that this is going so fast, my discomfort in my, okay. The comments are going really fast here. Let me just see what Margot said. I realized. Wow. Yeah. So projections and assumptions are just that, aren't they? And we take ourselves out of the game. Yeah. Yeah. So again, a lot of the time we hold on to our stories because we want to be right. And my best question for myself, and one that I'll invite you into looking at, is that wouldn't you know, what would it take for me to be wrong and free than right and having to defend my point of view? And just feel that in your body. You know, let the other person be right. You don't have to agree with them, right? This isn't about giving up your truth, but it's just about looking at what is going to give me the most ease and make it more effortless for me to flow and stay in alignment with my authentic truth. So again, I want you to really get used to being uncomfortable, right? We're going to appreciate today. The appreciation challenge for you today is to appreciate discomfort, to actually appreciate pain, because it's giving you feedback as to where you are out of alignment with your core values, your truth, your integrity, and everything else. It's getting pretty busy around here, but I am going to try not to get distracted. So regardless of whether you are a visionary or a mother or an entrepreneur or a coach or whatever role you're showing up with, you have to get used to using your voice to show up, especially if you're an empath, especially if you're sensitive or you're an introvert, and it's more comfortable for you to hide and never make waves, you know, make everybody else make the decisions because you'd rather not be put on the spot. So if you've ever kind of, you know, been asked, okay, where should we go for dinner, or what are we going to do tonight, and you say, I don't mind, whatever you want to do. You want to look at what is it that is so uncomfortable for you that you won't take a stand and actually ask for what you want, right? Because the whole reason for me gifting you this 28 days of being with me on this ride is to set yourself free from all the limitations and the reasons and justifications why you think your voice doesn't matter, why you think that you are not worthy of having what you want. And regardless of how you're showing up, people are going to judge you regardless of whether you do or you don't. I realize that. Okay. All right. I think the feed has just stopped. Let me run it down here. Gosh, you guys are awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Empaths. Alrighty. Keep it coming. Give me some love. I'm avoiding doing my online course videos. Yeah, yeah. How's that working for you? How is that working for you, Jana? So what is it that you can appreciate about the avoidance? The discomfort of what does it give you that you get to stay? Hi, Pietro, nice to see you. That you get to be in pain, because we're pretty good at beating ourselves up when we go into avoiding the places that are not comfortable or familiar for us. You know, it's like I always say, strangers are only strange until you say hello. And yet we will fear and avoid and distract and give ourselves the relief, which actually isn't a relief, by avoiding discomfort. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. So, I'm sure my 10 minutes is up and I haven't even got to the meat of this today. So this might be a little bit longer than 10 minutes, and if you don't have more than 10 minutes, come back to it, because this is valuable and I really want to share it with you. So you're going to get uncomfortable, and you're going to be uncomfortable all the time. So get used to that monkey mind, get used to that inner saboteur, that inner mean girl that says, oh, you're stupid, or who do you think you are, or oh, you can't show up looking like that. I show up, I'm in my gym clothes pretty much every day. I do these videos, I don't have any makeup on, I don't care, because what I have to share with you is matters to me, it's valuable to me. So would you be willing to let go of all of that and get uncomfortable with the fact that taking imperfect action is going to give you what you want if you allow yourself to be uncomfortable? I'm uncomfortable every time I show up on one of these videos. And there's a part of that I think is a good thing, right? Because I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth. But when I can get my ego out the way, who wants it to get right and wants it to be perfect, then I can actually just show up and speak from my heart and be the channel for the information that I know, because I ask every time I go is, you know, guide me. Let me be that voice for those that don't have any voices. That's the work that I do with the animals. That is the intuitive part that just taps in and gets my mind out of the way. So just know that your mind is always going to create fear of how you're going to do it wrong, or what if you mess up, or what if you screw it up, and it's going to tell you that you can't do it. But your mind is always going to create the solution to the problem that it actually created in the first place, because before there was a problem, it didn't exist. That's how insane it actually is. Okay? There was no problem until somebody said, oh my God, aren't you nervous? And then you suddenly realize, your mind goes, oh God, I have something to be nervous about. What if I throw up on somebody? Or what if I get it wrong? Or holy crap, you know, what if I embarrass myself? What if I fall on my face? But the mind is creating the fear from something that never actually existed in you in the first place, until you planted the seed in your mind that, holy crap, this could be a life-death situation. But it's not the death of you. It's the death of the old story that your mind created in the first place. So, you know, nothing was ever wrong. I want you to really get that. You're not wrong. There is nothing to get right other than I am showing up in my heart space, and I'm going to love whatever arises, including the feeling that I am not very comfortable right now. Because do you notice that when you actually call it what it is, it can't be that anymore. The what if abyss. Exactly. Exactly. Half of what I wanted to say. Yeah, and you know what? You get to make another video. That's the beautiful thing about it, Christina. Is like, okay, whatever came through today is enough. And also I think knowing when to stop, right? When we keep going because we think we haven't given enough is often when you can feel the energy sort of taper off. So knowing when to stop is something that I really have to intentionally concentrate on, allowing my heart to say, are we done? Are we done now? Is this it? Is this enough? And allowing yourself to have enough even in the discomfort of it. Give me some love, give me some hearts. Tell me if this is making sense. I hope it is, and if it isn't, no sense is great too, because a lot of that comes from this nonsensical brain that wants to trip you up and keep you stuck. Okay? So I'm not going to read these for a while, so I can just get into this and actually tell you what I wanted to to speak to without getting distracted, because there's a million things. We have so much to say. The heart wants to speak, and even though time is not is a linear construct, it's precious. It's precious. So we have to love ourselves enough. We have to love ourselves enough to allow ourselves to appreciate that, and be uncomfortable enough to stay with that before we move, right? I talked about that yesterday, that we need intention and we need patience as well, right? That there is a time and a place for everything. So just notice that where it comes up in your body, and again, give me some love, give me some hearts if this is speaking to you, if this is resonating with you. And I want you to know that you have to be willing to create beyond the story that you created in your mind, because you will want to sabotage yourself. That is the discomfort that stops you from doing the videos, Anjana. That is what stops you creating your song or your painting or starting to write your book. Just start to write your book. Just start, because every day, just like we're going to do in the next 28 days, if you constantly do the training, those of you who have done the Believe Challenge with me and have worked with me privately, you know that unless you're taking consistent action every single day, you can't stretch outside of your comfort zone. You have to get to the part where you're uncomfortable and then celebrate it, because if you're uncomfortable, it means you are moving out of the old paradigms of the identification to the stories and the lies that you're trying to make true. Okay, so think of it like this: is if you are trying to create, if you say you created 40,000 this month, and you want to be creating 1,000, 100, okay, next month, that's a big gap. But if you're going to create that vision from the place of the mindset of what it took to create 40,000, there is no match. It's not realistic to your mind to go to 100,000. It will want you to stay at 40,000, because making more than that is going to be the death to who you were and the death to your story of who you were when you were making the 40,000. So your mind wants to sabotage you, which is why people that win the lottery go broke, because they're not in alignment with the abundance. So they go to what they know, which is, I only get love if I'm broke. Isn't that insane? Yeah. Okay, give me some love, give me some hearts. And if someone would just let me know how long we've been going, if you're loving this, if you're not, we can stop right now. Okay, so you're always trained to get love. So everything I do is about coming back to the heart. It's about healing the separation sickness by coming back to your heart, because when you come from your heart, you can't make a mess, you can't screw up. The mind screws the shit up to keep you where you want to be. So does it make sense that if you're trained to get love when you're sad, or when you're sick, or when you have no money, or when you are quiet, okay, and this is all pre-7-year-old, which is where my work comes from: adverse childhood experiences, unpredictable toxic chronic stress, all the belief systems, all the unconscious commitments that you made pre-7-year-old is what keeps you doing things even though you should know better. It keeps you in the same place, because you equate that feeling of discomfort to, oh my God, I'm going to be abandoned and nobody's going to love me. So you have to keep yourself in this perpetuating flow of doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, because unless you get to the root cause of what do I need in order to love myself fully, that anything else anyone comes and brings to me has to be a contribution, an energetic alignment and a resonance to how I love myself or more. Right? That's how we grow. And you can't do that if you're coming from what am I going to get? What's going to happen? And there's always that fear that's running your life. Money is surely, absolutely, right? Because we give power over to things that, and other energies like money, like the narcissist, like the abusive relationship, like the people that treat us like doormats. Hi, Heather. I'm so lucky. I have all these awesome people here. So as an infinite creative being that you are, you have to be willing to learn to love yourself enough to appreciate being uncomfortable with change, okay? Because the only way that you change your old story is to get into the discomfort of your mind wanting to keep you stuck in what you know, so that it never actually gets to have the freedom and the love that you want, right? We're all messengers and we all have something to contribute here. So what I realized was that when you're not giving space and breadth to what you want to move through you, by using your voice, by using your talents and your gifts and your innate wisdom, your body's intelligence, your body knows. And that's why you have to be feeling it. The mind is a huge trickster and a huge prankster. It is indeed. Yeah, so let me know how we're doing here. Give me some love. Let me know if this is resonating, if you have any questions. Because I want you to know that when you're being called to lead, when you have an urge to do something, a nudge to speak on something, it's always happening, and it's showing up, and it's the sharing. That's the connection that makes us know that we are love, right? It is in the giving. You can't give what you don't have, and it's always greater than our personal why. And it scares us because when we speak from our truth, being sensitive, being empaths, it hurts to go to discomfort because it triggers in others, and it also triggers the parts of you that don't want to be rejected or abandoned or not loved. So, you know, if I don't particularly want to make people feel bad about themselves. I don't want people to feel shitty, but I do want to expand their awareness, and I do want my voice to make a difference. So I'm not here to be liked or to be popular. I'm here to share my truth as only I know I can share it. And sometimes that looks like really fierce medicine, and it's truth. You know, it's. In truth, it's scary. It's scary to raise awareness. It's scary for me to speak about the dairy industry. I got into terrible trouble with my daughter's school when I wanted to take her class to go meet their food, and you know, one woman wanted to have me arrested because I traumatized her son, because he actually, you know, raised his awareness because I took them to a dairy farm and showed them where milk comes from. And it's scary for me every time I talk about the bushmeat trade of the disappearing elephants and the gorillas. And I don't want to make feel bad. I want people to know the dark side of their own shadows, because you can skim through the things that make you feel uncomfortable on Facebook. Some days we just have to protect our own energy because there's just so much pain in the world. But if we start speaking more about this, and if we start to stand in the discomfort of being truth tellers, then there's more chance that we can start to change the bigger things. Because I don't know about you, but you know, that's why I'm willing to create abundance in my life. That is why I'm willing to have money, because I can use those resources to change the things that get me out of bed in the morning when I can't get out of bed for myself. So, you know, give me some hearts, give me some love. I know, you know, everything I speak about is pretty deep. I avoided talking about depression, and I didn't want to identify what I do in the world with healing trauma, because people, there's stigma and there's shame around that. And now I just don't care, because I'm not willing to pussyfooty around or you know, band-aid or surface fix stuff, and have people go back to the same self-abuse and the same toxic relationships and the same fears and money, because that's what's killing the planet, and the judgment is killing the planet. So if I give myself permission to speak, it gives other people permission to speak to the purpose of their work. And it happens all the time. You know, when I'm cringing, if people say it's too heavy or it's too much or it's not the point, or we have to have the courage as transformers, as catalysts, as change agents, and you all are. We're in this together. We're love warriors. We're here for love. Then we have to have the courage to use our voices for the big stuff and be willing to feel uncomfortable every time you do that. Exactly. Adore yourself. Exactly, Margot. So, the more success that you can have, the more success I can become, the more space I get to hold in awakening that contribution, in raising awareness in the world, and go to the most deep down heart space of authentic truth that I can, of what wants to move through me, and share that, just like we're doing today. You know, it's bigger than us. This stuff is bigger than us. And that matters to me. So when things are uncomfortable, we need to be able to move down, deep down, and access the part of us, right? So I want you to go deep down, because this is not comfortable stuff that we're talking about here, but this is the stuff that's going to set you free, and it's where we need to go. Access that part of you that has always known deep down, that you can't rise up, and honor what wants to come through you if you're in avoidance. Let your book write you. Let your program write you, Anjana. Ask, what do you need? You are divinely supported, and be the conduit, be the channel, be the lighthouse. And you will see that you will move into effortless abundance and ease and flow, right? I love that. When I sit down in that space, my words come through me. My book writes me. My programs tell me what they want to be. Okay, so we don't often get to see the ripple effect of moving through our discomfort, but we have to keep having the courage to give room to your gifts and the impact of your messages, so that not only are you supporting others in service, but in service to yourself as well. Okay, you have to have that peace from a space of abundance and comfort, and have what you want to have. I want to eat live organic food. I want to travel. And for you, maybe you don't like to travel, but what is it that you want? You have to allow yourself to get uncomfortable enough to ask for what you want. And you have to be willing to ask your business what it requires of you, and allow yourself to create alongside that. Yeah, you are a community for real. So, you know, it's as equally connected to the you and the not you, and the things that are bigger than you still have to be connected and in alignment to your soul's purpose. And if you're not going there, you'll see that when you keep trying to suppress it and resist it, the pain gets worse, the discomfort grows. So I think, you know, if you think it's your fear of making waves, or of making people feel worse, or that you have to shut up or not say anything or suppress or hold on to the pain and your discomfort, it's not the fear that holds it there, it's your mind. Okay, and so you have to practice. So honor that, and just start with one thing. Amplify the commitment to appreciate the discomfort. Okay, give yourself permission to get uncomfortable, and trust that there is someone that needs to hear what you have to share. Check in and give yourself the space and the room to share that, even when you're afraid. And be willing to be open to judgment. Judgment is the greatest gift that you can possibly receive. And I have never had anybody say anything awful to me yet. I'm open to that being a possibility. But I don't let my doubt and my fear run my life to the point where I'm going to mute down or not say something that someone's going to get upset about. And it's my responsibility, just as it is your responsibility, to be that voice for others that feel that they can't, that it's not safe for them to talk until they can. Right? That's what I am here to do, is be the voice for the animals that a lot of people can't hear. That's why I teach animal communication. That is why I'm raising consciousness of what's going on with animals, so that people can change that. And I know a lot of you here are my love warriors that are doing amazing things for animals. Petro Diamante, if you're still on here. So, you know, if you're drawn to the space, please get uncomfortable, because your gifts, your voice, your message is too important to stay hidden from the world. And it's going to create more pain for you to die with your song inside is going to be more uncomfortable for you. So get used to being uncomfortable and share your brilliance and share your gifts with those that are waiting for you. You know, I don't always feel confident and courageous about myself, but I show up in appreciation of the discomfort of what I'm feeling in that moment. And I speak from what my heart wants you to know. So if you're drawn to the space, or if you've been drawn to me, you wouldn't be here if you didn't resonate with that part of you, okay? Because I see you and you see me, because we are oneness and consciousness of all things. So we see the shadow in ourselves and others as much as we see the light in others and ourselves. And you know, that's that beautiful mirror work, to really honor the discomfort of who would I be, what would change, what is the story that you would have to let go of if you stepped into your brilliance and stopped listening to fear. Find uncomfortable is, yeah, so you're a freak of nature, so raise your frequency up, Margot. You're not supposed to be the same as everybody else. We're made in the likeness of God and in the image of divine, or whatever you want to call it, and yet we're creating a copycat freaking insane asylum where everyone looks the same. Right? They're all trying to be the Kardashians, and they're all going out there looking for external shit and trying to be a size 0, or trying to be something they're not. That's the suffering and the pain. You know, your shadow is beautiful. So maybe today, Margot, that's what your challenge is going to be, is to appreciate your shadow and love it into being a place that you can totally adore, in your words, and stop being afraid. Stop being afraid. And maybe you need to take your little girl and show her that there's nothing to be afraid of, that the boogie monsters are not underneath the bed. Okay? You wouldn't be watching this if there wasn't something true in any of this, in what you're ready to see. There are no accidents in you being here, and I so appreciate you being here and being willing to go into the places that are uncomfortable. Hi, Elena. You'll have to listen to the replay, honey, because I'm just about done. And again, I'm not even going to apologize that this was not a short one today, because I think it's a really important one for us to get, that until we actually can love the parts of us that we are avoiding, that we are refusing to see as love, which includes, okay, it includes everything that is creating pain and chaos and trauma in your life. It is uncomfortable. So lean into the discomfort, have a conversation with it, and even if it's turning at 1 degree, I was talking to another beautiful woman earlier about this exact thing. Stay in it for a second longer than you normally would before you go into distraction, and build on that, because the longer you do, the more you stretch that turning at 1 degree and another degree and another degree, before you know it, it's not there anymore. So start with 1 degree. Just turn at 1 degree. Stay with it. Okay, this is where I always say, and I teach this in my Out of the Blues program in resetting the nervous system, is tense into it. So if you're feeling tension anywhere in your body, feel the tension in your body and make it even more tense. So amplify it until you feel like you cannot bear it anymore, and then release it. It's one of the quickest, fastest ways to get you out of this, out of the fight, flight, freeze, back into your heart, from a place where you breathe life into loving the part that was tense. All right, so post your comments below if you have any questions about loving and appreciating discomfort, the uncomfortable parts of you, the parts that you don't like. Please post them below. And I hope that you join me tomorrow. I hope you found this valuable. Share it with a friend that you might know that might be needing to hear this, and allow yourself to just have it for yourself and receive it. And I'll see you back here same time tomorrow, all right, for day 4. of this 28 days of active appreciation, and let's get the love warrior energy up. I love you guys. Have a good evening or day wherever you are, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Mwah.